All right, let's try this again. Oh, goodness. Hopefully I'm back and it's okay. Please let me know. Hopefully I didn't screw everything up. Okay, try this again. Oh, goodness. Yay! Awesome. Yeah, this is typical Monday, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm glad it still says it's me and not Thomas. Okay. Hold on, share to a page. Oops. One more. Share to a page. Okay. Bam. Done. All right. Here we go. For reals this time. For reals. Okay. Goodness. I'm on my other camera that's now working. That wasn't working before. So, and look, I have my pen working. Yay, pen. Okay. Thank you guys for your patience. Thanks for coming back. And let's get this Mitch fish loaded up. This is what we're doing today. Good old goldfish. All right. Let's check it out. I know, Neil. I was getting afraid that I would have to do that. I wasn't looking forward to it. All right. Nightbot's still chatting away, so that's good. Okay, here we go. I'm actually going to start with this obnoxious orange color. I wanted to try another fish because this one's interesting. He's got this little teeny tiny mouth in between these ginormous eyeballs. So I thought I would give this a go and see how it went. All right. So let's try this. And you guys, this is my new favorite brush, Move Infinite. If you've gotten my user interface in the past, it's not on there. I've recently put it on there, and I'm testing it before I send it out to everyone. But it comes with ZBrush. It comes with, I think, the latest version and the version before that. Anyway, Move Infinite Depth is really nice because it essentially shoots all the way through the model. So whatever you're moving on this side of the model is also moving on all the way through it, not just on the opposite side, but all the way through. So I like it a lot. Okay. Okay, snap into the side. I'm just going to pull that body back. And then the other thing I really like as well is this AccuCurve. And AccuCurve, another streamer on here, Ashley, she might drop by. She was telling me about AccuCurve, and it also works with Move Infinite. So essentially all it does is, to me, it pinches so I can pull things out sharper like this. And it also helps to like move stuff around too. It just feels like you can well, what its description is, it's an accurate curve. So as you're moving stuff around, like if you have something bent, like a hair strand or something, if you turn on AccuCurve, you can nudge it around a little bit easier than normal. I don't know how to explain it very well, but and I hope you guys can't hear my fan too loudly. It's very hot here, so I have my fan on in the background. Hopefully it's not blowing on my microphone. I was going to tell you that the smooth paintbrush did not work last time. Are you talking about the airbrush? Yeah, this one I need to so I think Pixologic has adjusted the RGB value of this of the like how intense you can get with it. So all you need to do is turn up this RGB intensity when you select this brush. Just crank it up higher and then it'll work for you. I need to set the default higher, but yeah, let me know. Fan's good? Okay, awesome. It's behind me. I'm kind of blocking the air from blowing on my microphone, so hopefully it's good. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks, Matt. Yeah, that's all you need to do is crank that intensity up. Okay. Let's grab some sphericals for the big old ginormous eyeballs. Actually, I'm going to grab this color first. Oh, I guess I didn't fill it first. All right. Let's grab this and fill that object with that color, and then grab this color. There we go. Hey, what's up, Harry? How's it going, man? All right. Okay. This fish has gigantic eyeballs. Kind of reminds me of, well, it's not so crazy, but you ever watched Different Strokes as a kid? That sitcom with Gary Coleman. He had this he had this fish named, I think his name was Abraham, I can't remember. But it had the biggest eyeballs, I remember. I don't know why I remember that. The weirdest things. Okay, maybe a little too high. Something like that. So maybe like that. Okay. We'll deal with that and see how that goes. It's going. Yeah, it's going. That's a good way to put things. Now, I do like to switch back to regular move. Matthias, hey, so I was wondering, do you retopo if you want to do some texturing, or can you rely on ZRemesher? It depends on your end goal. If this is what I like to say, if your end goal is any kind of deformation or animation, like television, film, any of that kind of stuff, games, if you're going to be animating it or moving it, then you want to do proper retopology and proper textures, proper UVs. But if you're going to be doing just rendering or 3D printing, then there's no need for retopology. You can rely on ZRemesher if that's the case. Okay, so that's kind of your measurement stick in your head. But you can do most of the texturing with just polypaint, like all the color. Hey, what's up, Zofo? How's it going? Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm not a huge fan. Sometimes it depends, because sometimes it can, retopology can kind of be therapeutic in a way, just because you can turn on some good music and get lost in it. But it's also kind of a puzzle. And so I like the fact that it is a puzzle, or it can be. And so it uses the other side of your brain. It uses your the left side of your brain more than the right. I mean, it's still semi-artistic, but it's very it's like very repetitive, and it's just something you kind of have to do. Come to this channel and watch and have a goldfish crackers and snack at my desk. Nice. Did the stream just start yet? Well, Chris, it started half an hour ago, but I had technical difficulties, so I had to restart. Yeah, so we restarted. That's, yeah, it's like this took me 30 minutes to put eyeballs in a sphere. No, I've only been streaming for approximately 5 minutes, I think. I'm not sure. Okay. Dang technical difficulties anyway, right? It takes long to retopo. Yeah, you know, it's like anything. The more experience you get, the easier it'll become, the faster you'll get. Okay, what are we looking at here? I'm going to subdivide this once. There we go. Chip jumps. Yeah, today, right? Just gonna give this guy better eye cavities. I'll remesh this guy too pretty soon. I think with his mouth, I'm just gonna push it in rather than do anything fancy today. And a shout out to any of my neighbors if they're watching. I just had a kind of a mountain biking get together with a bunch of my neighbors. Saturday, we went up to a local ski resort called Sundance Ski Resort. You guys may have heard of the Sundance Film Festival. There's also a ski resort named after Sundance. It was owned by Robert Redford for quite a while. He just recently sold it. But they also they do mountain biking up there where you can pay and ride the lifts and then ride your bike down. It's a lot of fun. And I met a lot of cool people around the neighborhood. Told them what I do and they were interested in watching. So if you are watching, hello, welcome. This is what I do. This is what I was trying to explain. You know, it's really hard to explain to people what it is exactly that I do. When I say digital sculpting, I don't think that sets in for a lot of people. They still think drawing, you know. Hey, Attentive Slug, how's it going? Hey, what's up, Jace? I make cool stuff you wouldn't understand. Yeah, that's Jace. That was actually one of the questions. So you program? No. Okay, let me just loop this around so I can get a good Z remesh around this mouth before I go any further. And then I'm going to pull this in more. Get some more cavity going on in there. Okay. Now let's see if we can do this. Will I create different parts on different layers like Eisenfeld? Well, layers, if you think about subtools as layers, then yes. But if you think about layers, like the layers actually in ZBrush, it has layers, then no. Okay. I'm just gonna edit this eye cavity just a little bit more. See, what I like to do with ZRemesher is give ZRemesher a peaks and valleys to travel along, like this. So essentially, this is a big peak right here. Rather than going to all the trouble of doing the poly groups and having it follow that, right? I'm just going to try and push it to do it. Okay, so this is what it looks like before. And here we go, crossing fingers. ZRemesh, I'm going to leave it at 5, just the defaults. Yeah, see, not bad. Yeah, pretty good. I am happy with that result. Very nice. Okay, that will do me. Now it's this whitefish because that was the last color I had selected. That's funny. Okay, let's go back to this and turn this back on. Dynamic subdivisions, and we're back in business, but now we have a better sculpting base to work with. Now we can go in here and edit this mouth a little bit more. Yeah, ZBrush Summit. Thanks, Nightbot. And Nightbot's pretty busy today. Telling us about all the things. I can hear the tapping on my monitor in the microphone, so I apologize for that. It's like doo, doo, doo. Hey, what's up, Shane? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Now this smile, so usually smiles aren't pulled up in a like, you know, like the emoji smiley face. Usually when you smile, your top lip is just straight across. Unless the, you know, there's a camera looking down on it. That's when you kind of get that smile arc. But in animated characters, sometimes you can push it. We need Zofo to do a rim shot for us. Dunch. I think, isn't Zofo, you're still here? I think isn't Zofo the name of a, like, drum cymbals, a brand name? If I get that right. Cute as a button. Where did that saying even come from? Cute as a button. Oh, Zid. Okay. Zidian. Isn't Zofo some kind of drum name though? What is that? I swear I've seen it on drums. I'm probably totally wrong and I apologize. All right, and I love how his teeth, he's got like missing teeth like a little kid. Derpy fish. Yep. Yeah, this is kind of, yeah, we had Derpy Shark. And that was also a Mitch Leaway design. Now we have Derpy Fish. Zildjian? I can't say that name. But yeah, I've heard of those symbols. Right, they're symbols. Zoso? Okay, maybe that's what I'm talking about. Mitch is making a How to Draw Dragons book next. That's probably where I'm getting it from. That's how my brain works. Hey, Eduardo, welcome. I do not understand. Do creative directors determine what artists sculpt? Can artists turn down gross or unattractive work, or does that only come with time in the industry? Well, the thing is, if they have something in mind, and they're paying you to sculpt that thing, then I guess it's up to you whether you want to sculpt it or not if you're a freelance artist. But if they've hired you to sculpt something and you're working there full time, then you kind of really don't have a choice. You can make suggestions saying, hey, can I try making this better, a little bit, or it's because at that point it kind of becomes political. Yeah, it just depends. So I guess the answer is kind of no, not really, but you can make suggestions for sure. It just kind of depends on your, you don't want to, especially you don't want to go in there like your first day being like, hey, this looks like crap. Can I fix it? You just have to be, strategic about it. Because it does happen, there are concept artists that sometimes they can't nail what they're going after. So you could, if you have the skills, you can step in and help a little bit. Usually what I do is I try and hit the concept that they've given me as much as I can, as closely as possible, and then let them see that it's not working if it's not working. So they're deciding that it's not working, not you, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's the art director's job to make sure that everything is consistent in the product. Okay, well, I'm glad I'm just modeling a fish today because it's going quicker than anticipated, which is good. since I had technical difficulties earlier. Want a cup of coffee? Thank you. Cup of coffee. Hey, what's up, Bane? Right, yeah, they decide if it's working or not. But if it's not in your taste, then it becomes your choice whether you want to stay working there or working for them or not. If it's just, if you feel like it's not something that you would want in your portfolio. I mean, there's some jobs that I've done too that I haven't put in my portfolio just because at the time it was just, money, and I was doing it for the money, not for the portfolio piece. That makes sense. Because not all jobs you do are going to be portfolio worthy. Okay, yeah, this guy's turning out okay. Hey, Bean, thanks for joining. Have 165 consecutive viewers, so thanks for hanging out with me today. Let me fill this. I thought it would go, I thought people would, a lot more people would bail, because that's usually what happens when you have technical difficulties when you first start a stream. But thanks for your patience, and thanks for sticking with me today. Usually sell my style, so when they hire me because, yeah, so that's a good point, Bane. And I'm kind of in that boat as well. And when you have experience and people know your work, they'll come after you for the look that you are able to achieve. And that is by far a thing, that is a thing. But I've also been hired for the way I model, and then they've asked me to do something different, So Yeah. Okay, let's see. Split MS points. You think it's good to specialize in a branch of objects, or do you think it's better to be a generalist to get a job faster? I would suggest just finding what you love to do personally, what you want to do with your career, and do more of that. Whatever that is, do more of that. Because you're going to be happier and your work's going to be better. I would not focus on being a generalist unless you want to work at, say, an independent company, like an indie dev is what we call it. Because independent development companies are smaller startups and they need people to wear more hats. But larger companies like Sony or Disney, those kind of places, they want you to be specialized. They want to hire you for what you're good at. Sometimes they'll have you do generalist stuff, but not normally. Hey Colin, I'm interested in signing up for the workshop as I really like your work. Is there a listing of all the training materials and the videos? I couldn't see anything on the website. Yeah, I haven't done a good job as far as like showing everything on the website. I'm working on that right now actually, because I'm working on 3D Character Workshop 2.0, which if you're already a student, you get for free. It's kind of like ZBrush's, the way they do things, you know, all updates are free. So if you buy ZBrush today, their updates, like I bought it way back, and updates are still free. So I really like that as a purchaser of ZBrush. So I've modeled my business practices after that. So he's talking about 3D Character Workshop. Here I can just. Hold on 1 second. So I can just show it to you. So when you first log in, this is what it looks like. Oh, let me turn off this window thing. There we go. And there's me in my cheesy mug. Okay. So when you first log in, this is what you'll see. There's an early beginner walkthrough. This is like if you're brand new to ZBrush, this is your first day. I sat down with an illustrator friend of mine, really good illustrator. He didn't know much about ZBrush at all, and so I walked him through his first day in ZBrush. And then there's this Mailbus mini course, and then here's the main workshop from here. So like ZBrush fundamentals, character design, character blockout, refining, stylized anatomy, clothing, props, hair, posing, rendering. Then I go into 3D printing, and then I talk about game characters, like how to bake maps, how to do UVs, how to do retopology, all of that stuff. And then I have this bonus section where I interview industry professionals, and then I have some older stuff down here. Now what I'm doing is I'm re-recording a bunch of the course right now, and I'm doing weekly challenges. I'm doing 3.0 in weekly challenges, so I'm talking about all the new techniques and that kind of stuff. So and I do live Q&As, and we have a community that's super duper active. Yeah, you can see it right here. So none of this is my work right here. This is all student work. Okay, so if you want to be part of this community and you're not already, now is a fantastic time to join. As you can see, it's kind of based on ZBrush Central a little bit. I really like ZBrush Central, and we just got done doing a hair challenge, so you can see all the awesome work that's going in there. So yeah, like I said, right now is a fantastic time to join. As soon as, and I'm recording those live. As soon as I'm done recording those live, that's going to be the new course content. I'm not going to get rid of the old course content, but there's like, what would you say, Neil? Like at least 100 hours of content. I mean, don't be intimidated by it, but there's a lot. So yeah. So well, you said Slack. It's actually Discord, but I'm thinking about opening the Facebook group back up, the private Facebook group. So Anyway, and as soon as I get 2.0 recorded, that is when I'm going to up the price, and I'm also going to add a new product called the Accelerator Program, which is it is learning how to do this stuff without going to an expensive art school and having access to industry professionals like myself and other coaches I'm bringing in, so you can have access to them and review your work, talk about, you know, your portfolio and all that kind of stuff. So that's coming up as well. So anyway, and I have a bunch of students in here. I can let them tell you if they like it or not. All right, Teef. And do we get mentors? Right now there's just me, and I do, I've been doing bi-weekly Q&A sessions, and I've been commenting on posts in the community. But that's slowed down a little bit since I'm doing this, the weekly live update stuff. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. But the Accelerator Program is when you get, it's going to be group mentoring. So small groups, and they'll go through your stuff. Yeah. So that's going to be, yeah, that'll be, and that's not part of the 3D Character Workshop. It's the 3D Character Workshop Acceleration Program, so it's a separate thing. Graham, thank you so much. And it will cost more, but it's not expensive art school cost. So no, I don't have, so the game engine that I use is Marmoset. So Marmoset Toolbag, which is not really, it's not Unreal and it's not Unity, but you can easily take it into those game engines from Marmoset. So Marmoset is kind of a real-time, you know, game asset viewer. But anyway, so that's how it goes. Okay, thanks guys. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. No, it makes me feel awesome, man. Thank you so much. Okay, let's do subdivide this. How many hours a week would you recommend to set aside to concentrate on the class? Well, Robert, that's a good question, and that's why I'm doing these weekly challenges, because, you know, those of us on the, like myself, I'm not saying that you are, but those usually artists are on the ADD spectrum, you know, so it's kind of hard to focus for those of us artistically minded people, and people are also busy. So that's why I offer deadlines, and that's why I offer weekly deadlines. Otherwise, if there's no deadline, people just kind of go off the rails and never finish anything. So that's why I decided to break it down into weekly challenges and kind of compartmentalize it. And you can watch those right now up until where we've recorded up to. I think we've done 5 so far, Neil, is that right? Yeah, you essentially just go through at your own pace. So as many hours as you feel that you can put towards it, you will get out of it what you put in it. That's the whole thing. And there are a lot of students that have gone on to work in the industry, like at Funko and Blizzard and Disney. It's blown my mind. So I'm going to be having some of those interviews coming up soon, hopefully, and that's going to be part of the acceleration program marketing, to put it bluntly. Okay, let's get thickness. And now so it's a lifetime access, and now the students that have been in there for a long time, they're still in there, and they give great advice to new students as well. So yes, it is just me, but it's not just me. You know, it's a lot of other students in there going through it with you. Can I do a quick example on how to do a muzzle for a dog-like creature? Chris, I've done a dog on this live stream in the past. So you can go back to ZBrush Live and look up my past live streams, and then just look for, I've done several characters with muzzles like that. So you can go do that. Do I plan on having these tutorials for sale individually? Unfortunately not. It's just too big of a maintenance. It's just me. So it's just too big of a maintenance hassle on my part to do that. And it's also easier to pirate if I do it that way. I've been pirated before, and I'm just, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. So I just do one chunk and I combine it with the community, and you can get feedback, because in my opinion, the fastest way for you to get better is to get feedback. So if you're not getting feedback, if you're just buying the courses and just doing it on your own, you're not, yeah, that's just my opinion that way. So, okay. Yeah, there are some amazing students in there. There are beginners as well as pros in there. If I were to tell you some of the students that were in there, well, I shouldn't say that, because there are some pros in there. There are a lot of pros that that are traditional sculptors, like with clay and stuff, and they want to learn ZBrush. Some industry professionals that would, yeah, that are in that class as well. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get rid of this face. So I'm gonna turn off this one, do poly, single poly, delete. Where are you? Delete. Colin, I choose on, this sounds totally like a jerk's thing to say, but I choose based on what I want to sculpt, and what I think I can get done in this short amount of time. So that's, I don't take requests because of that reason. Only ZBrush, or you complement with other programs to the creation? Main mesh, so my course, I teach 90% ZBrush at the moment. So 90% of the course is ZBrush. And then the game character section, I teach a handful of other software, but you can use whatever software for that part of it that will do the trick. Any, you know, for UVs, this is what I'm talking about, retopology, UVs, and baking maps specifically. So yeah, those you need to have other software to do that. Okay. Let's see. Now this, I love dynamic thickness because it also supports support loops. So if I use this Z modeler and I come in here and I cut an edge loop right in here like this, and one right here, you'll see the difference when I turn it back on. See how this is square and this is round? Yeah, I'm getting that squareness from the support loops. And the closer this is, the tighter those edges will be. Is essentially, it's kind of traditional modeling tricks. Polygon modeling tricks, I should say, not clay tricks, but okay. So now I just love it because it keeps things non-destructive. That's the word I'm looking for. Non-destructive. So now I can come in here and just like, yes, I teach anatomy. That was the second challenge, the second week actually. So the first week is a Saturday morning cartoon block out to get you used to how ZBrush works. And the second week challenge is stylized anatomy. So I don't teach you like a doctor would teach you. I teach you like a stylized character artist would teach you. So in my opinion, it's easier to understand. I'm not having you memorize a whole bunch of stuff. So for that, right now, I don't like to say how much it costs during this live stream, and because it gets archived to YouTube. So if I mention a price, then people like in the future will look back and say, hey, during this thing, you said it was this. So I change prices. You can see the current price over on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com, and just click the button to say see more about the workshop. And currently access is lifetime access. Lifetime of the course, not my lifetime. So until I decide to close it for some reason. But it's been going for 4 years now, I think. That's what I was thinking of, Bane. Fishes are friends, not food. Hello, fish. I love Nemo. They're recorded right now. I do them live first, and then I record them when I do them live, and so they're not live when the new students watch them. They'll be recorded. That's why I was saying, if you want to watch them live, now's the best time. How do you decide which character or reference to work from? I choose the character that I think I would enjoy modeling. Is basically for these live streams. That's how I choose them. Anyway. Yeah, I might render them together. Yeah, best friends forever until the shark gets hungry. But it's a derpy shark, so maybe he doesn't even know he's food, you know? So happy. Just keep swimming. Let's give him a tongue. Okay, let's fill that with red. This is a little tongue in there. So cute. Even if you join, we have finished all the challenges. You can submit your work for the QA to get feedback. Absolutely. Yep, that's a great point, Neil. So it's if you miss the challenge, you don't miss the challenge. Everybody's on their own path to success. It's not like you're really going along with everybody else. Because like I said, people are busy. They have lives and they have schedules, and so it's mainly just whatever you can do, you know. Make that tongue smaller. There we go. Okay, let's see. The reason I like the idea of an acceleration program is because then you can ask not only questions on getting feedback on your work, but you can ask like professional questions like, hey, I'm doing this freelance gig. What do you think I should charge? Like what in what area should I, and how long should it take me to get done? And you know, that kind of stuff. Or is it worth moving to this location for this job? Or, you know, if you're doing an art test and you want to kind of get feedback on it before submitting it. That's just stuff you don't get from most art schools, you know? Okay, let's see. Come on. Doesn't want to grab this. Gosh dang. Just grab it. Why? Let me switch to a different brush, maybe. Come on. That's as small as I can go. Maybe I'll just mask it. See if I can mask it. Nope. No, that'll work, actually. Neil. Funny. Because I'm wanting to mask or polygroup that off so I can get into the interior of the mouth and color it. Color it darker. Let's see, actually I want to go maybe in here. Come on. Ooh, there we go. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, not bad. That works. There we go. Little fish. Okay. Let's do some fins so he doesn't look like a tadpole. All right, let's see here. Let's do his top fin first. Just gonna insert a cube. Actually, let's do it in the center. And why not grab that color? This isn't going to be the final fin. This is just something I can draw on top of. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Yeah, this is just a single poly on this side. It's just a cube, but then I can draw with this topology brush right on the surface and just kind of make this fin. And then I can edit it later too. Maybe too tall. And I'm gonna end this like that. Even though this is round back here, I'll just edit it later to be round that way. I guess this doesn't matter if it's even or not. Something like that. Okay. And I usually turn my draw size down to 1 and click on the surface, and then it'll give me a poly like this. Split hidden, or split unmask points. And then this is kind of what it gives me. This is actually two planes. Looks like this. I only want one, but hey James, you back? Yeah, it did. And it didn't say that I was Thomas. So that was good. Okay, let's see. Let's auto group this. Hide the other one. And then just edit this. Give it a better shape. Yeah, so that's kind of the shape of it now. If I turn on dynamic subdivisions, so see it's already kind of given it that round edge. You don't need a lot of geometry to kind of get what you want. Oh, James, I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out. Doing Paul Gabriel's headphones. So yeah, Paul Gabriel's been streaming on this channel, doing some really cool hard surface headphones and explaining it, how he's doing it as he goes. Okay. So let me turn on the floor just to see where this is at. Okay. Maybe up here and maybe bigger. Hey, Robert. Oh, you did. Nice. Happy fish. There you go. Happy fish. Okay, I'm gonna grab. See if I can make it sharper. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I think I'm going to apply this. Bucky, are you talking to me? I'm Shane. Sean. People call me Sean all the time, though. Any advice on what to charge as a freelancer? Yeah, that's kind of difficult to say on a live stream. It really depends on where you're at with your skills, what the job is, where you live. There's so many factors involved. What the complexity of the character is, what it's going to be used for. So, yeah, there's a bajillion factors. Yeah, remember. Okay, I'm going to actually subdivide this up more. Get rid of the creases. Yeah, bad bud. It can, yeah. There's literally so many factors that are involved. It's really difficult to just say, oh, you should just charge this. Come on, save. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I wanted it to kind of round itself off there. Then I can do a bit of a gradient. I'm going to use a trick I learned last stream from a friend of mine, Ronnie. He's like, if you zoom way out, use mask lasso, you can get a gradient mask. Yeah, check that out. You can get a nice gradient across there. Thanks, Ronnie, for that tip again. Not that he's here, but hey. You can just fill it, and then you'll get this nice gradient. Is that awesome? I live in Latin America. It's very difficult to find a stable job. Luckily, I came to Codemaster and opened up a lot of doors for me, but I spent like 10 years trying to achieve something good. Yeah, where you live is, it can have a big factor on things. Okay, now this is kind of the only time I use layers, really, is when I'm doing any kind of surface detail. I usually don't cut in details this early, but I'm just going to show you anyway. I'll just pop a layer on here, store a morph target, and then just kind of cut in some details. Just a few scratches. Just to kind of match what's happening in the drawing. And this is just my detail brush. It's a lot like the Damien standard brush. It's just a little softer, a little smoother. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Now, that'll work, I think. I do have ambient occlusion turned on. That's why these lines are a bit darkish. Couldn't you get the gradient from the blur mask button in the masking tool there? You can, but it's just not as, it feels not as smooth, and a little not as controlled, I guess. So in ZBrush, there are usually 10 different ways to do one thing, so I'm sure it would work. Just a matter. I really like that technique of pulling it way out and doing a gradient with the mask lasso. It works pretty good. I like it. Okay, so with these, odd question I've been able to find an answer for. By chance, do you know how to combine multiple nanomesh indexes into one subtool? I don't know that that's possible, because there are two different algorithms happening in each subtool. So if you combine them, it's going to break those connections. So I would reach out to Pixologic or maybe Paul Gabry when he's streaming. He actually works for Pixologic. I don't, and he's like ZBrush encyclopedia, and he would know more about that. Okay, I'm going to use the same cube. Oops, same cube to draw on. Better save this. Yeah, but just my little knowledge of nanomesh, I don't see how that would be possible, just because of how it's calculating, you know. Okay. I might do this one differently. I might mask this one out and then extract it, show you just a different way of doing things. You're invited to the server. So for that, I have to subdivide this up a lot. Like, this is 2498. At least 1.5 million. Okay. Let's check our density with our mask. Okay, that would work, I think. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So you saw the first way by using this topology brush, and this is the second way by using mask extract method. And honestly, what I can do, just for fun, let's try it out. I can grab this fish, make it a little less opaque. And even though it's kind of on a, whoops, it's on an angle, we can still get the shape of it. Something like so. Okay, and then if I turn on, for this one I have to turn on spotlight projection. Grab my paintbrush and just paint this on here. Cheating, I'm cheating. Okay. I can turn the opacity back up, scale this back down, park it back in the corner. So now we have this tail like pretty much stamped right on this thing, right? Now what I can do is I have a guide and I can just mask this off. I could do mask by intensity as well, but there's kind of too much going on for that to happen. A slow version of Mike Pavlovich. Yeah. I guess you could speed up the playback. Let's bring this up. And when it comes down to this little point, I usually overlap and then cut it back in. You'll see, I'll turn off the, I can turn off the texture and see what my mask looks like here in a second. Okay, so just this paintbrush, you can turn it off and take a look at it right there. Then I can do a mask and then a reverse mask and cut it away. It's like a butterfly wing. Like so. Like that. Like that. Make a better, nicer end on this. Okay. Now this is being mirrored, so it's going to make two of these. I'm going to turn off mirroring and get rid of this side. I only want one. Okay, and now I can do several things to this. I can do a, I can extract it, and that's just under, right here under subtool menu, extract, and it'll give me this. Let's turn it to the side. See, it'll extract it like that. Yeah. And then, all right, James, take care, man. And then, so then I'll have to edit it from there and do some things. Or instead of doing that, I can do a, well, I'll have to delete my subdivision levels. Okay. And then I can do a edge loop mask border, is what it's called. And it'll put an edge loop all the way around this thing. And then what I want to do is isolate this and just mask across here. Let's do a mask lasso. Oh goodness, why does it do that? No lazy mouse. Okay. Then I can put one of these in one one poly group and the other in another. Now that I have this, you know what I can do too? I'm just trying to figure out a way to kind of coax ZRemesher into doing what I want it to do. Because I think if I ZRemesh just this right now, it's gonna break like on the tips. But let's try it. Let's see what it does. Yeah, let's try it. I'm gonna go to 10,000 though. See what we get in our box of chocolates. I always say ZRemesher is like a box of chocolates. And all of you are finishing that statement in your heads right now. It's taking a while, sorry. Hopefully my stream isn't skipping. Sometimes it likes to skip because it's using all the CPU power. All the power. Almost 200 people watching right now, though. That's pretty cool. Across all three platforms, anyway. So I'm currently streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. All right, man, for taking so long. I don't know if I want to run this algorithm again, so hopefully it gives me a good result. How about no result? Because I didn't choose keep groups. Good job. I need a streaming box? Like, what do you mean? I mean like a stream deck like this? It's not turned on right now, but I have a stream deck. I need to. Sometimes I use it. I usually use it for my lights and stuff. But since I'm streaming on Pixologic site, I don't do all the fancy, you know, thanks for following me and all that stuff. Okay. Colin, I think so. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I apologize, but I do have a lot of students in the UK and they have asked me for a receipt so they can put it on their VAT. So I don't know the answer to that, unfortunately. Oh yeah, Neil is one of them. There you go. Okay, let's do this again. One more time. A small box that captures the streaming and sends the info to a streaming service. Oh, I use Restream. So Restream is what's doing that right now. Hey, Angie, how you doing? It's been a while. Why not isolate groups, delete hidden dynamic, subdiv, thickness, and ZRemesh afterwards? Chris, I could. There's so, like I said, there's like 10 different ways to do stuff in here. It's honestly, it's like whatever you try, whatever you want to do. So I find that keeping the instead of removing like the pink outer area, ZRemesh will give me a better result if I keep it, because then the lines can flow through it instead of stop at the edges. So that's why I keep it until the ZRemesher algorithm is done. You did not get charged that. Interesting. So I don't charge VAT on my course. I don't keep track of that stuff because I'm not in the UK. Yeah, see, it just botched it. This one is okay, but the bottom one looks like crap. So, all right. What to do? And I can try that. See, I'll just try different things. Delete hidden. Yeah, so like I'm going to ZRemesh one. I'll just split hidden, so now I have both. And I can also try and run polygroups through here to try and get it to follow the way I want, you know. Will this be posted on YouTube? Yes, on Pixologic's YouTube channel. I have a whole bunch of past streams that I've done. I don't even know what episode this is. I wonder if I've hit 200 yet. I've been streaming on here for quite some time. Okay, so I'm going to try it just with this one at 5,000. I can turn keep groups off. And I can also turn the smoothing, well, it's not listed here, but I can adjust the smoothing a bit so it stays closer. This should be faster. There we go. And then I can do half. Let's see. So it's kind of keeping the edges and not really doing what I want it to. I'm gonna try. Sometimes it works well if you tessellate it. I'm gonna do 0.3. Why? Do I have something hidden still? No. No, why isn't it doing it? It seems like it's getting more and more dense. Why? Okay, I better save this before it crashes. Not saying it's gonna crash, but in case, I always want to save it. Okay. I'm gonna try to do a tessellate. Okay. There we go, but that's horrible. One more time. There we go. Okay, I can live with this. I can live with this. There, see, I'm just looking for this edge, and that's giving me the edge I want. So that's good. Now let's do the other one. This one. Yeah, it's pretty dense. So I'm gonna look. It seems that Tessellate helped it, so it wasn't trying to calculate as much. There we go. Okay, let's try this. Let's do 0.5 on this one. Not bad. Me when I use ZBrush, it can do planes, but it seems to work better when it has some level of thickness. Yeah, that's kind of why. I have 184 videos on my playlist. Oh goodness. Well, there you go, guys. 100 and so I'm approaching my 200 episodes. I think I'll keep it like this. Okay, well, there's a fin. That'll work, and this will work. Still a bit too dense for my liking, but that's okay. See, that is why I much prefer doing fins this way, where I draw the geometry myself by hand, because then it's just way easier to edit, if that makes sense. So, because if you're going to rely on ZRemesher, most likely you're going to struggle with trying to keep that edge, rather than just drawing it with topology brush. See how much more dense this is, and the topology is not that great. But I wanted to show you guys that technique in case you wanted to use it. And I feel like he is too long in the body, so I'm gonna grab this move elastic and squish it down a little bit. Make him a little more fat and chubby. There we go. Yeah, these are still planes. They don't have thickness on them. Hey, CG, how's it going? Okay, let's see. I can get rid of this original one. Would you recommend using ZRemesher curve brush? No, I actually got rid of it on my user interface because it just doesn't feel like it follows it very well to me. So yeah, I rely on groups and peaks and valleys more than I do ZRemesher guides, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't have much success with that personally, so I don't use it much. Oh, hey Bob. Yep, I'm on every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, let's see. Add some thickness. Uncrease all on this guy. Let's see if, I don't think it has creases. Yeah, it's just using the, all right. I don't know why autosave is saving so often, it feels like. Okay, so if I turn down the smoothness, apply mirror and weld, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what. I didn't really do much for my 100th. I should have, but I didn't. To me, it's like, it's just another stream. Okay, now I can turn this back up. There we go. You know, I'm going to apply this and do the same thing I did with this fin. So I can add arc light animation. What do you expect 2.0 to go live? Well, it's already kind of live right now, but I don't know exactly for sure when it's going to be finished. But we're on week, well, I'm doing weekly challenges, but I'm not doing them every week. It's because I'm doing a weekly challenge, then I'm doing a review, and then another weekly challenge, and then another review the week after that. So it's kind of going every 2 weeks right now. But when it's all said and done, it's going to be a weekly challenge that you can go back and watch. So that's kind of how that's working. And then, 1 second. Do this. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, challenge week 6, which is clothing, wrinkles, armor. That's going to start hopefully soon. Let's see. Oh, I didn't have it filled with orange. I thought I did. Okay, let's do that again. Fill it. But then when they get all done, that's when I'll, you know, release it for real. There we go. Very cool. I like that technique. Again, thanks Ronnie for showing me last stream. Oh, I don't have symmetry turned on. Turn that on, that'll help. I kind of want to fade it out as it goes. There we go. If you don't get it right once, just undo it, do it again until you get it right. That's better. Okay. Yeah, the reason I did this fish is because I want to try something in the render. I want to try some transparency, maybe some shiny scales on him. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with him yet. A little too thick on this one. So one thing with this dynamic thickness, you want to turn smooth subdivisions down. So it'll add the thickness, but not the subdivisions. Then when you hit apply, it won't apply the subdivisions, just the thickness. And then I can do a mirror and weld on it. Oops. Mirror and weld. Okay, and then, yeah, that's too thick, so let's scale this down. Something like this. That way I can smooth this down and make it not so sharp. And then add dynamic thickness again, but now I want to turn the thickness off and turn the smoothness back up. Now it has dynamic smoothness. There we go. Okay, let's fill it with this time so I don't forget. Oops. Yeah. And then grab this orange color. Where can I see those live challenges you mentioned? So it's on the easiest way to find it. I'm putting it in the course right now, so you'll be able to see it soon. But the easiest way to find it right now is in the Discord channel under announcements or in the forum under student challenges. So either of those places. I think the Discord is a little easier, but yeah, those are going up soon. Yep, sorry they're hard to find. Hey, what's up, Harry? So I've been meaning to ask this for some time, and the brain cell finally made it to the front line. So when you're using your fill brush, does it matter where you start and stop the stroke with it? Should you go with or against the grain of the area you're trying to fill, or does it matter? Yeah, usually it really doesn't matter, but usually I'll go along, like if you have, here, I'll show you. Okay, so say you have a big valley like this. Let's make it a little tighter like this. And say you want to fill that in for some reason. You grab this fill brush, and rather than going like this, see, you can, but it's still pretty warbly, right? So instead of going like that, you would go this direction and just slowly build it up like that. Sometimes it works best if you have a mesh with pretty high density. Fill brush doesn't work very good with low density stuff. So is that a goldfish? Yep. Let me see, I'm going to apply this. One more. What are your favorite brushes with ZBrush? Do you use IMM, predefined object, and complete model characters? My favorite brushes are my brushes. Not to be biased, but you can see all these brushes down here. These, like this one. These are ones that I've built, and I've built some from other brushes that I like, and I adjust them and tweak them. But I give these brushes away if you want. They're over on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. But like I like the Damien standard brush, which is this one. The Ma cut brush, which is this pinch brush. This fill brush came from an SK brush. So did this polish brush. So yeah, and these are the brushes I like to use, the ones across the bottom. And I do have an insert multi-mesh brush that is my own, that I made, because these are all made of quads, and they're all brushes that I use all the time right here to make my characters with. I was asking because you had pointed out some of the transitions of the fur on my Sasquatch need a little love. Yeah, try and use smooth and polish more than fill. I mean, you can do the fill to bring it up, but then kind of smooth and polish, and use subdivision levels. You know, go down into lower subdivision levels and smooth that out, and then go back up. So you still use my brushes? Awesome. So on the topic of low poly for deformation, how do you match vertices of underlining geo with the ones on top? Well, it's called retopology, and I do it outside of ZBrush. So I mean, you can totally do that inside of ZBrush now. I need to practice and get better at the retopology tools they have in here, because they're much better than they used to be. But I usually either use Maya or something else. Okay, let's get those last little fins on there. So for this one, I think I'm going to draw these out just like I did the first one. I think it'll be a lot easier. An IMM brush full of fish, that'd be fun. But the only time I really use an IMM brush that's like a belt buckle or a braid of hair or a chain or something like that that I don't want to sit and build out by hand, that's when I usually use it. Okay. Why isn't it doing it? Better save this again just in case. Okay. There, done. Do you print your models? I absolutely do. They're back here. So this one I made during the stream, this pirate girl, and this mouse right here I made during the stream, and this is the character I go over for the 3D character workshop, and this one I made during the stream. So yeah, you can see I have some 3D printers behind me, a Formlabs Form 2 and a Form 3. You know what? I might just make some fins out of this. What printer do I recommend? I recommend the Formlabs printers if you can manage it. If those are too expensive for you, I recommend the Anycubic series or the Mars series. Okay, split these off. I recommend resin printers, not extrusion printers. Yeah, Elegoo series, thanks. Elegoo makes Mars and Saturn, and yeah, Elegoos are great. Okay, let's see here. So I might just turn this cube into a fin. That's another way you can do it, right? So I have this cube, and I'm just gonna Z model it into a fin. Why not? So I deleted everything, so it's just a single-sided thing. Kind of get it into the basic shape. And then we'll insert some edge loops. What's the Formlabs wash print? It's not a printer, it's a wash station. Yeah, you just fill it with isopropyl alcohol. I actually have one. You just fill it with alcohol. There's a little kind of spinner in the bottom, and it just kind of spins the alcohol around and gets the resin off. I don't really think it's necessary, but it's available if you want it. It's not a printer though. Yep, don't buy it thinking it's going to print, 'cause it does not. LED resin printers. So the Formlabs printers, they're laser based. So the resolution is incredible. It's just as good as we had an $80,000 printer at Disney, and these are just as good or better than those. Yeah, the technology's come a long, long ways. So you can just cut in edges and make a fin this way, like traditional modeling. Prusa, I don't have experience with Prusa. I've only honestly had experience with Anycubic and very little. Mostly my stuff's been with the form printers. Okay. See, that was quite painless to do. And now I can just add thickness to this. Turn down the smoothness. Actually, I want one level of smoothness on there, maybe. Apply it. Okay. No, it won't. It'll kind of replace it, but it won't. It's because I'm keeping the old one around. there's too much good information in there to get rid of. So you can go back and watch that material as well. I've gone through a lot of students in that course, a lot. And so I can see where students struggle. I can see where they excel. So I want to create more of the content that helps students and less of the stuff that doesn't. And just create more, if students are struggling, more content to help them out, that kind of stuff. So that's why I wanted to do weekly challenges and re-record a bunch of the stuff. That's the idea behind it anyway. Yeah, sure. Like there's so many different ways to do things in here, honestly. There's so many. So don't let anybody tell you that, hey, you're doing it wrong, because there's no wrong way. You're just trying to get to the finish line, you know? You could even model it somewhere else and bring it into here. Okay. Grab this color. Thanks very much for answering the questions. You're welcome. And you have a very clean workflow. It was a pleasure to be able to observe you. Ah, awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out, Main Mesh. Thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Oh, I love that. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, oops, I did it reverse, didn't I? The yellow was on the inside. Okay, yeah, so the old one was more like I was reading from a script and I have text below with pictures and stuff like that, and this time it's just me doing this. It's kind of like watching me do this, but I'm going much deeper in what I'm talking about. I do have some slides, and just this last one I actually invited a special guest on. His name is Hector Moran, and he's a professional in the industry, and he's really, really good at sculpting chunky stylized hair. And I had him come on and help me out, and it was awesome. It was 4 hours of training, just 1 week, one weekly challenge. So yeah, crazy. And you can watch it on a faster speed if that's too much for you to watch, But great information. Can I add a 4-payment plan? I don't want to do that because, again, it's just me, and I don't want to go chasing down payments if somebody defaults, So I hope you can understand that. So I've just had the single and the 2-payment plan for the whole 4 years. No, by chunky I mean thick strands of hair, not hair cards, not hair like particle systems or fiber mesh. Even though I did go to talk about fiber mesh, I talk about chunky fiber mesh hair, like hair that you can 3D print. Yeah, anime hair, like what you see anime figures hair printed out when you see the 3D prints, that kind of hair, or like you see in Sea of Thieves, or yeah, games like that have big, thick, stylized, chunky hair, not hair cards, not realistic hair. But I do cover tight curly hair as well. So yeah, that kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah, like Overwatch. Overwatch is kind of realistic, semi-realistic. They actually you can see the fibers in the hair. Okay, let's see here. I have AccuCurve on here? That's weird. I don't even know what that does. Huh. Interesting. I do watch anime. Yeah, I feel like if you're into art, you should watch art of all forms and be inspired by it, you know? Oh, Kojikin, what else are you looking for besides sculpting? You know, I haven't watched Attack on Titan yet. I want to. Um, I like My Hero Academia is my favorite. I like One Punch Man a lot. I like Full Metal Alchemist. I haven't watched Attack on Titan yet. I couldn't get into JoJo's. That was just a little too weird for me. And I know it's not anime, but I like Avatar a lot. Like The Last Airbender. I know it's heavily inspired by anime, that's why I include it. But man, I'm just wrecking this. I'm gonna go back before I Oops, let's go to before I destroyed that. Right there. Okay. Let's see. I'm bad at posing, so I wanted to know if they taught enough rigging to pose comfortable without. So I teach how to rig, or I teach how to pose in ZBrush in the course. Yes, I do not teach how to rig though. So I worked on Disney Infinity and all the characters back here. I worked on a team, and our whole team would pose all of these characters in ZBrush. So it's completely capable, and that's what I teach. So you don't have to bring it into another program to rig it. So if yes, I do cover posing. Let's see. And yeah, you do deal with the T-pose tool. That's what I teach. Demon Slayer. I love Demon Slayer. That's a great one. Let's see. I have not watched Ninja Scroll. Is that a good one? Yeah, Akira and Ghost in the Shell. Those are the old school, right? And like Cowboy Bebop, and those are good. Death Note. So I want to watch Death Note, and I want to watch Attack on Titan. Another one is what is it called? It's kids trying to escape like a gosh, what is it called? I'm trying to think of what it's called. Help me out, guys. Yeah, they're like oh, shit. Gosh dang it. Violet Evergarden is one. It's a really. I love the way they drew her. That Violet Evergarden. Really. Yes. Promised Neverland. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Promised Neverland's fantastic. I love the first series of that one. That was like tons of twists, and even though it's like about young kids, it's really, really good. Really good. Yeah. Orphans. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. I like it. Not that I like demons eating orphans, but it's just, yeah, it's just full of suspense and really, really great. I love it. Well, come on, spoilers, guys. Jeez. I wasn't going to give away the plot, but okay. Aww. So cute. Look at him. So stinking cute. I'm going to have his eyes kind of up a little bit. This. It's like, hi guys. Adoro, I've not watched that one. Haven't watched Paprika. Haven't watched the one like the food show one. Haven't watched that one. I gotta watch some of these. Okay, let's see. Now, once you get a dark kind of a eye painted like this, I'm trying to decide how I want to do this. And I love all the Ghibli stuff. Let's not leave that out. Love it all. Love anything that essentially Ghibli puts out. I love it. My favorite's probably Spirited Away. That's probably my favorite. Princess Mononoke is also up there. But the first one I ever saw was on VHS a long time ago, an import from Japan. Oh gosh, why is my brain just not working today? I can't remember. Yeah, Ponyo is awesome. But the one with the bugs with all the giant eyes and they're all mad, so they're like attacking villages with the girl with the glider. I love Porco Rosso too. Howl's Moving Castle's awesome. The Valley of the Wind. What is that called? Nausicaä. Nausicaä in the Valley. Yeah, so Nausicaä is, yeah, that is by far, I'd have to say, my favorite as far as atmosphere and story and just like the pacing of it. So good. Yeah, goldfish. I'm totally turning into a goldfish. Oh my gosh, totally. Okay, so what I can do is I can do a mask by intensity. Mask by intensity, where are you? Masking by intensity. Invert that mask and sharpen it. That way I can paint the blue on there without accidentally painting what I don't want. Okay, actually I want to, let's see, turn off the paint for just a second. Grow the mask a couple times and then sharpen it. Just so I keep the ring. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So I'm going to fill this with color. And let's do a little lighter down here. Oops. Let's see, what am I missing? I recently lost my job due to the pandemic. I was a graphics teacher and I always did 3D in the meantime. I would like to work in 3D industry, but I'm 40. Am I too old for that? Nope, not at all, Signor, at all, no. So there are people just breaking into the industry. It doesn't, age is just a number, you know. And essentially, portfolio is what matters. Because it doesn't matter how old you are. The studios, all they want to know is that you can do the job. That's it. So as long as you have a good portfolio, that's all you need. I think I want to make them bigger. Zombie fish. It's too big. It's like not an in-between. 18, let's see. What makes a good portfolio? Well, you have to kind of put yourself in the eyes of the person who is hiring or the company that's hiring, right? So they essentially have a project. And I've said this before on the stream, but they have a project and they need characters for that project. So let's just say it's I don't know. Let's just say it's rare, and they're wanting to hire people to help them make the pirates for Sea of Thieves, right? So let's say a few people quit, and they're wanting to hire new people. So what they're going to do is they're going to go look for portfolios that they can look at them and say, yeah, I think this person would be able to create the characters that we need them to create. That is it. That's it can't get any more simple than that. So if you can show in your portfolio that you can make the characters that that company needs to create, that's a good portfolio, right? For them, for that specific case. So you kind of want to create characters that is in the bracket or the space of characters that you want to create for companies. So for example, I did characters for Disney Infinity, but I also did some for Warhawk and some for, well, I animated on Warhawk, but some for Toy Story, for Overwatch, for Lucky's Tale, for, I know my lane and I try and stay in it. I don't really make realistic characters. I don't put realistic characters in my portfolio because that's not the kind of artist that I am. So yeah, anyway. Okay, I'm going to fill this with material that is zebra eye reflection on these eyes. Okay, so you switch it over to material, fill it, and then go back to skin shade. Now he has these super shiny. Yeah, I was an animator for 5 years of my career, and I worked at Incognito. They made Twisted Metal Black, but I worked on Warhawk, the sequel. If your likeness could be 3D modeled as a game character, what would you like to be, and in what kind of character would it be? So I've modeled myself as in my logo. I've modeled myself as a bear already, and it's a game character already. So that's my answer. But I can show it to you. I just gotta go dig it up. There you go. There's me as a bear. That's my logo. And it is a game character. I haven't rigged it yet, but I want to rig it and animate it. So. Yeah, I wish they'd make a Twisted Metal game, but I think that ship has sailed. All right, you guys, I think this'll do it. Let me paint a few more little strokes on these fins just to make it look a little bit more like this. Make sure I'm not on material. Do you think it's okay to start with stylized, or is it better to start realistic to style? No, so you would, that's up to you and what you want to do. You can start with realistic, you can start with stylized. I would start with what you want to do in your career. It's not like one path leads to another. But I do have some students that started out with stylized, and they realized that they liked to do realistic better. And so that's where they've ended up. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there is overlap. So it's not like you can't do one or the other. Sometimes people do both, Let's see. Just looking for this slash brush. I can never find this stupid slash brush. /3. Oh, that's right, because it's in a folder. That's why I can never find it. I just want to put his gills on there. What's the gill? Slash. Maybe this one. /2. how would you suggest to create animals? Honestly, it's no different than creating anything else. Just get good reference and then make it. I know that sounds like a jerkish thing to say, but it's kind of how I feel about it. It's not that one thing is any different than the other. Turn on lazy mouse for this. Yeah, Graham, I would just rotate them into position. Is it okay to use alphas from packs? No, yeah, it's fine. I use alphas all the time. There we go. That's the look I'm going for. I do have a Twitch, but I rarely stream on it. I want to stream on there more, but I don't right now. I only stream on here. Be closer. Is this character doable in ZBrush Core? Yeah, yes and no, I would say. You would take a slightly different approach than I did, but you can make something like this in Core. You would just use Dynamesh instead more. And Sculptris Pro, but it's completely possible. Okay. One last thing I want to do is grab this darker orange down here and paint his belly. There we go. Give it some gradient down there. If you enroll, is it a lifetime thing? Yes, and I have to specify lifetime of the course. So it's not like my lifetime, you know, you get it till I die. It's like till I change it or whatever. But it's been going for 4 years and I don't plan on stopping it anytime soon. In fact, I'm going to be updating it to 2.0, hopefully soon. So it's Shane Olson Art is my Twitch stream, my Twitch handle. But I stream here on Pixologic's site every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So like I said, I don't really stream on my channel yet, but I'd like to eventually. And I want to put some of that up on YouTube eventually as well. Okay, now let's turn on perspective. There we go. Fish, fish. Good time, fish. So I'm not going to rotate his eyes just yet, but there you go. Yeah, I went a little late because I started a little late, so. Have you ever made any of your models available to other? Would not mind 3D printing. I've thought about it, Domingos, but not yet. I haven't made any of my STLs available yet, but I've thought about it. Yeah, if I did, because I've thought about doing maybe a Patreon or something, but then I'd have to get, that would take away from my course. My course is my focus. So that takes most of my time. Could you add water bubbles? Yeah, I could, but I usually do that in my post-processing. Like the shark. If you go back and look at the final result of the shark, you would see that. Let me see. Because I put it in a background. See if I can pull that one up. I don't know where I put it. Huh. Well, I have the shark, but not on the background. I don't know where it went. Oh, goodness. All right, Matt. Awesome. Go, conquer, win, sculpt. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. It's been a pleasure. And we'll catch you all next Monday. Okay, we'll do another one. All right, you guys. Take care and enjoy your week. We'll see you next Monday. All right, we'll see you. Bye. Thanks, Neil. See ya.